Christie Sides has gone back to her early regular season form when it comes to her coaching style. I don't get it. I'm not sure what she's doing. The biggest thing I noticed early on is why is Christy Wallace out there with Katie Lou Samuelson? Christy Wallace hasn't played since August 31st, but it goes deeper than that. She's only played 5 games, I think, since early July. So she has no rhythm. She's rusty. She's a good 3-point shooter, but when you don't play her enough and she doesn't get enough shots up, well, you ruin her confidence and you ruin the chemistry between other players on the team. Why is she out there in a game like this? It didn't make any sense to me. You got to play a short rotation for now because you don't have much of a bench. And Katie Lou Samuelson, I don't get why she's on the basketball court. She doesn't shoot the ball well. She doesn't do anything else besides shoot the three. So if she's not shooting well, what else can Katie Lou Samuelson offer? I'd rather have Dantas out there or Fag Bentley or Nalissa Smith. At least I know one of them is going to give me something out there. Like Dantas will at least make a basket or two. I know she moves slow on defense and she's not always fast in the pick and roll situations with Caitlin Clark, but at least she has an opportunity to score. But when it comes to Katie Lou Samuelson, she can't put the ball on the floor. She doesn't play make at all. She can't rebound very well, and she plays no defense. So why is Christy Wallace and Samuelson out there at the same time? Christy Wallace hasn't played in a long time. Dantas got, I think, 4 minutes last night. I just don't get the ideas that Christy Sides is trying to throw out there because she's just going out there with a game plan and just hoping it sticks. And when it comes to adjustments, Christy Sides still doesn't do that. I'm not sure if Christy Sides is trying to just keep Kaylee Sampson happy because she has that huge contract, and that's a problem for the Fever because I think she's making about $175,000 a year, and I don't know how they can move her, especially when she's not bringing a lot of value in the basketball court. I don't know how they can trade off of that contract. Probably just going to have to keep paying her, let her walk in free agency. But there was another moment in this game where Leah Boston got a loose ball foul. It was 57-52. That was her third foul in the game. She got 3 more left to get. And Christie Sides calls a timeout. I think it was about 1:45 left in the game. Why not sub in Fag Bentley at that moment? Bring in somebody to play some defense so Leah Boston doesn't get into foul trouble. What happens next? She gets 2 more fouls before the end of the third quarter. Now she sits on the bench in the fourth quarter for 9 whole minutes. Here's the problem with that. Even when she picks up a 4th foul, why not call a timeout right there? Don't keep her out there even longer because now you risk a 5th foul before you get to the fourth quarter, and then it happens. And I'm like, Christie Sides, what are you doing here? You've got Fag Bentley, who's been solid on defense. She can hold her own out there. You've got Nalissa Smith if you need some scoring punch. I think she was out there at the time. And you still got Dantas, who haven't played much that night. What are we doing here? Aaliyah Boston is the second most important player on this basketball team. I know Kelsey Mitchell's been great, but she helps Caitlin Clark with running the offense. When they put her in the post, she can find players cutting or getting open for threes. But you just leave her out there after she gets her 3rd foul, and the 4th foul, you leave her out there again. It didn't make any sense. That was a huge issue I had with Christie Sides' decision there. Call a timeout. She's got 4 fouls. You're going to need her in the fourth quarter. The game was still within striking distance. That's why I don't get this decision at all. It didn't make sense. I understand that you're trying to keep the game close, but it was already 57-52. And even if Fag Bentley doesn't give as much offense, she's still athletic enough to keep up with the offense for the Aces. She can hold her own. She's going to rebound the basketball. And she's going to block shots. So even if she's out there for like a minute and a half, it's not going to kill them. You just had to keep Aaliyah Boston out there. And what happened? She got 5 fouls. She didn't play about 3 minutes left in the game. She got fouled out after that, probably because she was just frustrated. I know the calls were really bad. There's a phantom call that was really, really egregious, and Christie Sides didn't challenge it for whatever reason. It was just really obnoxious. But at the end of the day, it's the same story with Christie Sides. She likes to slow the game down, but when the Fever are playing in transition, they're rolling on offense, they're getting easier baskets, and when Caitlin Clark has the ball and she's running the offense, everything flows. But when you put her in the corner and she just watches everybody else make a play, it makes no sense because they're not playmakers. That's Caitlin Clark's game. And another issue I had with Christie Sides is when the Aces were turning Caitlin Clark into a scorer, where were the adjustments at that point? Because eventually you can figure out, okay, if the Aces are guarding these passing lanes, where can I get Kelsey Mitchell open and Leah Boston open and Caitlin Clark getting those assists? Because that builds confidence. Now you have a flow. Now you open some things up. No adjustments whatsoever. Caitlin Clark had 6 assists. When my best player is 1 of 10 from 3, let's just say she's 1 of 5. You got to make some adjustments at that point. You got to look at that game and go, okay, Caitlin Clark is struggling from 3. She's not getting a lot of assists, and the Aces are taking that away. What can I do to combat that? No adjustments to what the Aces were doing. This is just another example of Christie Sides not knowing what she's doing. And I want to say this, though. I think if you improve the roster for the Fever, then we can make a final judgment call on Christie Sides. I know that sounds crazy, but just hear me out. The Fever do have some flaws on this team. They need more athleticism around the wings. They need a backup point guard. Those are the things they need to fix this offseason. Let's just say they do that. And Christie Sides is doing the same things next year, where she's not putting her players in position to win, and she's not making in-game adjustments. Then you let her go. That's what I would do as a GM. Now, if they fire her this offseason, cool. But I think one more year, and if they're not changing things up, if she hasn't gotten better as a coach, move on. Because as a coach, you got to manage the game, the momentum going on. And here's the thing about the Aaliyah Boston situation. If you brought her out, and let's just say they were down 7 points to end that third quarter, she comes back in with 3 fouls. She can be aggressive. She can play with a lot of freedom. And yeah, she might commit another foul or two, but you give her opportunities to score. That's the key. By having her with 5 fouls to start the fourth quarter, you limit your scoring options out there. You put all the pressure on Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell to score consistently. That's not a good idea. So you got to learn how to manage the game and not let your emotions get in the way or your ego get in the way. Whatever it was, it's not good and it doesn't work. You just got to learn how to manage things and take some L's sometimes. Because the Fever have shown you since coming back from the All-Star break that they can come back from double-digit leads. So let's just say it's a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and they get it down to 5 points, and Aaliyah Boston has 4 fouls. Well, she can still be aggressive out there and can make plays for the Fever. But because you kept her out too long in the third quarter, you ruined all those opportunities. So, again, I don't know where the Fever are going to go from here after this offseason, but they got to figure out this coaching situation within the next 2 years, because if Christie Sides doesn't get better, you need to find someone who can come in and do the job correctly. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts about Christie Sides' last coaching performance against the Aces. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.